Akademiks, Wayno, and Nadeska here on Everyday Struggle. Another beautiful day here at Complex Networks. How you guys doing?
Coolin'.
How you?
Coolin'.
What's up, Paak?
You know what I mean? Rest and refreshed.
Since when? You slept for once? You weren't up gaming all night?
Hell no, I was wild on Twitch. I just actually went to sleep afterwards.
Fair enough. At least you made it here today.
Yeah. I made it here.
Anyway, welcome back. We got a lot of music to talk about today. Two extremely different albums, which is great. We're gonna start with 6ix9ine's Dummy Boy. So you guys remember this was supposed to drop last week. It got delayed, but it is out now. 13 songs, features from Nicki, Kanye, Lil Baby, Tory, and more. Production from Murder Beats, Scott Storch, and more. Let's start with the actual music on this. The album's not too long, so that's good. Some people feel like his music can sound a little bit redundant after a while. What did you guys think of the full album?
Go ahead.
I like it. I don't like that there's so many features though. Like, it's the second project from an artist. I like to hear more of him more than it getting like diluted with other people. Same thing with Juice WRLD, even though that was a collab album, Juice WRLD and Future. I want to hear more of you. You get me? And
so he has features on what, 12 out of 13 songs?
And by the way, to be fair, he only had features on like 2 songs or like 2 or 3 on his first project. So this is like really the complete flip side. And I will say like the more up-tempo ones are always my favorite from him. So like the Stupid was dope, Fifi,
But these
great.
are all singles already. So are there any things on here that weren't singles that you really like stand out to you?
TikTok, that's what I'm saying. I'm going down the whole list. TikTok with Lil Baby, that's great as well. Kika, that's my favorite. Salute to Scott Storch, produced a banger. Steel Drums is kicking on that one. A Boogie, who's dropping his project next month, he completely annihilates Waka. He actually outshines 6ix9ine on the joint Waka. The Spanish joints, you know what I mean? You got to get your little Dykeman flow going on for those. But the joint with Kanye West, and the other, well, they got 2 joints with Kanye West, Mama and it's really FIFA, actually. But those are cool as well. But I mean, the majority of the album, I like the front half of it.
Front half, so
Yeah.
A Boogie had the best feature to you.
Not Tory Lanez.
Tory Lanez?
Tory Lanez just steals niggas' songs. I don't even know why niggas do songs with Tory Lanez.
For real?
It sounds like it feels like it's always Tory Lanez featuring.
The whole, for me, the whole project, I don't think there is no, what you say about like hearing more him, I don't think there is no him. Like, I don't think he really has anything to talk about. We was talking about this in the control room about how basically the way he makes songs is like he takes like the best elements of something somebody else did and then he puts it together. And he can make a song out of it, but I don't think he really has shit to talk about himself other than how he does it. My favorite feature on there, because it's like a compilation for real. Like, this shit is like a compilation.
Yeah.
Is, I don't know who this Trife Drew dude is, but like I like that one the most.
Oh, salute to my dude Trife, yo.
Yeah.
Trife goes in.
I like that joint the most, but ultimately, I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna listen to this again, only because it's like I can't really tolerate. The beats is fire, but I can't really tolerate the yelling. It's like every time he comes in, he kind of throws the track off himself, which is, all of the records is not bad. I just got to be in a certain mood. I can only listen to this shit if I'm about to go out, which I don't go out much.
Right.
You know what I mean? But that's the type of music it is. But
You never been in the crib just like,
no, I'm never
just
playing.
feel like
nothing.
you just want to scream
Nah.
Trey away and just
Nah, my nigga.
some aggressive music?
Nah, my nigga. I'm not. This is not this is what I'm saying. It's like he throws you off so crazy because you got the Waka shit, and I like A Boogie on it, but then the BB shit comes on. It's such a weird ass mixture of music. Like it's really a weird mixture of music.
So like you said, feels more like a compilation than an album. So then, we've talked about a lot of albums that we feel like come and go quickly. Is this a come and go album, or are fans gonna be sitting with us for a while?
I mean,
They ain't got no choice but this.
Yeah, they don't have
Well,
to
that's what I'm
still-
saying. He can't put out music. Do you feel like this is good enough quality that people are gonna want to spend a lot of time with it?
Well, this is the thing. When you're in lockdown or if you pass away, fans have to sit with it. So unfortunately, whether you like it a lot or not, his core fan base is gonna sit with this. So it will last. It will last a little bit and
Is the
probably
quality
longer.
what you expected or what you thought the level of quality he should have put up on this project is what I'm trying to ask you. Because you said like a sales barometer for him, but
not necessarily. You know, like it's far from whack, but like for me, Wayno had a good point when he said, what you thought he could do in terms of you feel like he's using certain songs to remake or certain elements to remake new songs.
Yeah.
And I think this was for him to try to prove that opinion wrong. And some records, it feels like it's completely like him. Like the TikTok record and even the Mama record, it kind of feels like he was trying to come in his own pocket. But then other records, you could clearly hear the influences from other places. So, you know, while he was making this, I did speak to him. Like, he was going through a lot of stuff, including cases that was piling up. Shoot, it was in a very different space. He told me, he said Stupid wasn't really him. Like, meaning his mindset while creating that song wasn't in the place where he created his previous hits. It was very much distracted with all the other stuff going on in his life. So this is what we get.
You know what kind of threw me off too? On Kanga, the joint with Kanye, him and Ebro says, him and Kanye said some shit about Ebro in there.
Yeah, Kanye gave it a little diss to Ebro too.
Yeah, like Kanye threw some shit at Ebro. I was just like, I don't know. Kanye now I think Kanye's clout chasing too. Like, he clout chasing too. But overall, like.
Nah, if you be clout chasing, if he screamed out Trey, I was waiting for it.
Oh no, if he did that, that'd have been wild. Like, that'd have been wild if he'd have done that. But then he would have denounced it. You know, Kanye would be like, I don't know what's going on.
I didn't even move to Africa.
Nah, he'd have been like, I don't know, like. But I mean, overall, like, it's a good effort. But all the songs sound like songs that he would drop as singles. Like, all of them sound like songs he would drop as singles, just
minus Treyway on every song.
Yeah, just mashed together. It's just like, so it doesn't sound, to me, it doesn't sound like an album. It's just like a bunch of singles just all looped in. Because all of these songs sound like a song he would release one at a time. That might be the way he's been training people's ears, because that's how he releases music.
I mean, did you guys ever think he was really an album artist to begin with? I don't think that people really expect that from him.
Like, for real. Okay. No, I'm not slighting him. What I mean by that is, like, I don't think that he's a good enough rapper to make a full-length project where people are gonna pay attention unless he has a bunch of features on it. Like, I don't think, like, unless, like, he wouldn't have made no songs talking about the shit he going through. Like, I don't see him talking about, like, making like a Many Men or some shit like that, where he's talking about some real shit he's going. I'm not looking at him at that. That's why I said before, he's a parody rapper to me.
Yeah, no, I don't think that means he's not an artist. I just feel like he's a singles type of guy. I think the new generation now, these niggas is not creating cohesive bodies of work at all. They get a bunch of songs, and especially
hands on who you talking about.
A lot of the newer rappers.
Okay, good. A lot, not all.
If you look in among his peers, yeah, they ain't creating no cohesive body of work. Yeah. They don't know what an intro is.
But his peers and a lot of other new rappers is a whole different world. So we can't just group that into new rappers, because we're gonna get.
But a lot of the rappers who are succeeding, if we look at Lil Baby, if we look at Gunna, they don't have cohesive body of works. And a lot of times,
Lil Baby could actually talk about. He could give some.
He's very clever,
perspective
least,
into where he's been and what he's going through on some rap street shit. Like, his shit is just like.
I mean, there's lightly coded messages in there, like on what's the joint? Kika. He talked about cutting off the people that was around him, which that was interesting, because that was changed from the what was previewed on Instagram. It was a different verse on there, and he was talking about cutting off his whole team, and he ain't around nobody no more, which was interesting.
Yeah, he did say something like that, but it's like one line. It's like not the song, you know, but.
Yeah.
This nigga wants some Jay-Z Reasonable Doubt.
Nah, it's not that I want Jay-Z Reasonable Doubt. I'm used to rappers rapping, and I'm used to rappers rapping about, like, different things in their lives. That's all.
Or you just listen to it every time you want to go out, like you said.
Yeah, like that.
It's not good morning.
If I'm in a car,
he's only for the club. Like, he's definitely not for when you and your feelings. Only for the club.
If I'm in a car and we going somewhere, I'm not complaining if you throw that on. Like, you know, I'm not listening to this shit Saturday afternoon, like, just cause. Like, you know.
While you vacuum in the crib.
And let's be clear too, if we're evaluating an album, like, there's like 6 singles on here. Like, most albums you get like 3 the most, because usually people have problems getting singles and they have a lot of filler tracks. These are all attempts at hit.
That's what I'm saying. The whole shit sounds like a single. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the whole shit sounds like singles. Like, and I think that's how he trained people's ears to how they receive his music, because he puts out one record, then he put out his what was it, Day 69? That was the put out Day 69, and everything after that was a record. Work that. So I think he trained people to their ear to expect his music like that, and that's how it sounds lumped together.
All right. on a completely different wave, J.I.D dropped his second album, DiCaprio 2. Shout out to Dreamville. 14 tracks on this one. Of course, features from Cole. He was on the single, Ferg, LMA, Black, Method Man, Joey Badass. Really dope. And actually, Mac Miller produced the track Strawberries, or helped to produce the track, which is super dope.
Right.
Completely different than a 6ix9ine project. Of course, did you guys have a chance to digest this?
Yes, I did. Well, I mean, you know, it's so hard because it's only been out for a few days, but like I can listen to it and understand what I like from it and that, right? Same way how I could listen to 6ix9ine. So for this, I like that he put Method Man on something. And what's ill about that is like 20-something years into Method Man's career, he doesn't sound uncomfortable as a rapper. But it was like something that fit his speed. My favorite joint off of there is Off the Zoinks. Hot Box, and just the other day. But I will say now, like, I listened to J.I.D's project prior to this, and listening to this one, I could say that I'm kind of more into him. Like, but it was kind of hard for me to get used to his voice. You know, and remember we had that conversation. It's like, does a person's voice kind of not mess up, but affect how you listen to him? And when I first heard it, it was like, I couldn't really get into it. I fuck with him. Like, this year, I say him and Reason are my 2 favorite new rappers.
All right, good picks. Ak, what do you think?
It was cool. You know, I kind of, you know, I listened to it. I listened to him again.
Did you get a chance to be in your feelings to listen to this? No, because you just said, man, with 6ix9ine, this is not nothing you're going to listen to if you're in your feelings, so. Yeah,
well, I mean, there's music for all different type of moods. You know, like, clearly the subject matter on here is not like, I'm not bumping this while I'm going to the club. But when I was coming back from Atlanta and I threw this on to try to check it out, you know what I mean? Like, I was actually pleasantly surprised. It's pretty good, honestly. So if you're into this type of music, though, like, you know what I mean? Like, again, if you're into the 6ix9ine type of shit, see, this sounds so bad. See, Wayno got
it. He means if you like ultra super lyrical rappers.
No, because it's different types of music. If you got to be in like a mindset to be into type.
Here's my question to you, Ak. How do you listen to only like 6ix9ine kind of music all the time? Don't you do other things?
I'm always trying to turn up. Like,
always 24/7. You're never at home like cleaning or cooking dinner or anything.
Don't
you live life?
No, I listen to Drake in that time. Drake got a music for everything, man.
It's like
when I want to be gangsta, I play Mob Ties. When I want to be getting my feelings, I'm playing like Look What You've Done.
You're so basic sometimes. I just
can't stand this nigga, man.
Let's knock it off J.I.D, man. Let's give him his moment.
Right.
All right. It was kind of cool.
Kind of
tracks.
Cool. All right.
Bruh, you want me to be like, yo, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread?
Nah, just say it's cool.
It is cool. That's what I'm saying. It's cool. Right. And also, I would listen again. You get me? Like, some joints I've listened to and I'm like, never listen to that.
Yeah, so J.I.D's definitely one of those people, like, one listen definitely isn't enough, right? There's a lot of rapping and storytelling on here, but I also like how he balances out. There's, like, girl songs. What's the track, Working Out? They have the joke, the skit at the end about J. Cole having so much money but looking homeless. Like, he wants to borrow your charger. It's pretty funny. It's a nice album.
And like,
I like the track with him and Cole, the Off These joint.
That you can bump.
Wait a minute.
See, this is what I be talking about.
Isn't this the one we played and you thought it was too much rapping?
Yeah, he said He said, yo, their fucking flow. He's like, yo, their flow is just throwing me off. I don't like the beat.
Within the context of this album, I like it.
Oh, really?
Within the context of this fucking album.
He's a switch sider. I told you he's a switch sider.
No, nigga.
He's a fucking switch sider.
No, hold on. Y'all were asking me, and when we played it, we were talking about it as a single.
Oh, look at this guy trying to get deep in the context.
For real.
Let's go.
Now I'm listening to it in the album.
Okay.
It sounds good. I never said it was trash. I was just like, yo, for a single, this is a lot,
But
bro.
this is, all right, you said, now, this is a joint that you could bump going to the club. Like, that's one of the joints that you can play going to the club. You know, but overall...
What club you going to? Hell no.
You can bump that. You can bump that joint going to the club.
No, I'm kidding.
You can bump on the way.
Instrumental.
We're not listening to J.I.D at the club, but
no, but that is a joint that could
the joint with Black is fire too, man.
Hey,
show some love,
joint with Black and LMA.
Yeah,
and the joint with Strawberries with BJ Chicago Kid, who doesn't get a lot of credit for how dope he is.
Yeah, that's the track Mac Miller.
But like in terms of like just Dreamville overall, I feel like what they're doing that's really good is like they have artists like Kaz, J.I.D, Bass,
Ari Lennox.
Ari Lennox, yeah. She was on Creed 2 soundtrack as well. And all of them, they come from different places, but they're not like, they don't typically fit what you think Dreamville, like people think that Dreamville is just some lyrical shit.
Yeah,
only.
Because Kaz was because if it was Cole, Bass, and Cuz, right? I feel like they were the first ones, if I remember correctly. And then you throw in a J.I.D. He can still rap really well, but he's from Atlanta.
He's from Atlanta,
definitely
right?
throws you for a loop.
It throws you for a loop because it's not like you go get a dude from Atlanta. Like we was talking about this, your hometown determine your buzz. Now they went and found him, and they got Earth Gang as well. Something else is a little different. I think they got a nice mixture of a lot of different places, but it's not just one sound. It's like all types of shit, but it's also not all these different sounds that's like, oh, they doing too much.
2019 is the year of Dreamville, man.
Oh, funny that you say that. All right, so in this Complex interview, he essentially says that they look up to TDE, and Dreamville basically needs to step their shit up to catch up to these guys, which I think is dope. Some mutual respect over here. I think we all agree that TDE is killing it right now. So you just said Dreamville 2019 is their year. Why do you feel that way? We know Cole is already teasing a project for next year.
Because I don't know. I mean, I can't like. Every time I know I'm about to say something's gonna come off sounding wrong.
I just said.
I just never knew them niggas before now. I gotta keep it real. Like I've now realized that these are talented motherfuckers. Or I knew some of them names, but I didn't hear much from them. Never felt like they were getting a chance to be on the forefront.
Because they weren't making club music.
No.
Yes.
I didn't see rollouts like this, honestly.
Yeah, but you don't always need a rollout to know that an artist is there. Come on, Ak.
Yeah, but the way how TDE focuses on each of their artists when they're putting their project out, it felt like it was just Cole and them niggas. I gotta be honest. And then now I feel like there's more presence and more awareness on all sides, and you get to appreciate them more. And I do think that I don't even take him making that statement like, we got to step it up in terms of talent. I don't think that's what it is.
Just strategy.
I feel like that's what it is. And we salute the punch of because of how because of how they kind of treat each release, and it's really tailored to the artist. And really, me saying that I believe 2019 is the year of like Dreamville is that I do believe that like these artists are getting their stride individually.
It's crazy because it's like as visible. Cole is like the most invisible person there is, right? And he's had like all these features, and he's had a big year, but you still kind of feel like his presence is not all the way there, right? Just because he's not out. And I don't think that he has to be out and be running around and be at events and all of that shit at all. But I can respect your perspective on Cole and them niggas. And I feel like they've always had the talent, but they just need to step up like what Dreamville represents as a whole. Like we know what TDE represents from each artist. Like you, even if you don't really know too much about J-Rock's music, you know that it took J-Rock to go out and him, like they say, for him to catch the arrows, for them to become TDE.
Right.
It's not like that. Like it's Kendrick and Cole, but just nobody else you could tell that same kind of story for.
Right.
Cole spearheads everything, and then it's like, okay, here's the other guys, but I do agree that it could possibly be their year next year.
Yeah, I think you're right. And to your point, he can still do more publicly, but this year he's been doing a lot more on his terms, right?
Right.
It's not like he's like out and about doing the most, but even him doing things like taking Young Thug on tour, trying to plan the Dreamville Festival, like him having a presence, I definitely think.
Features.
Do a song with Money Bag, yo.
Yeah, I think all of that stuff helps the whole team escalate. So looking forward to Dreamville 2019.
Somebody give them a soundtrack.
Doing yoga with a Lil Pump, that was good.
Huh?
I'm sorry?
They did yoga together and had an interview. Like, am I missing?
I knew there was an interview.
They did yoga together?
Yeah.
I never seen that.
I gotta keep your eyes to the streets, man.
I guess, my
Pump
nigga.
and J. Cole doing yoga.
Yeah, I've never seen that.
Right.
I don't know.
Dreamville 2019, here we come.
Absolutely. But overall, salute to J.I.D. for DiCaprio 2. Dope album.
Yep.
Dope album.
Actually, you want to take us through some numbers? It's been a minute.
Numbers. I'm playing. Yeah, I mean, pretty much. I think the only notable release that was just purely hip hop, or at least an artist, was Salute to Paak. Like we didn't really talk about his album, but he sold $40,000. $40,000. Yeah, I'm fucking up today, right?
Don't worry.
He sold 40,000 records the first week with his project Oxnard, and of course, we had the Creed soundtrack, which, man, I've been in Atlanta a couple times, and Michael wanted me to come hear the shit, but I never got a chance to. But of course, that was out as well, and that sold around 15,000 units, which still, we didn't really talk too much about that, even though we did touch on it. That's a phenomenal compilation.
There's some dope songs on there.
Yeah.
Lil Wayne opens the album really nice. And
Yeah, and just other notable albums that are on the charts like Trippie Redd, A Love Letter to You, Metro, Not All Heroes Wear Capes, and Travis Scott, Astroworld, and Drake's album. They're still in the top 10 of all albums. Like hip hop still dominating the charts, so it's a good time.
Yeah, Anderson .Paak's joint was really, really dope. Like it was so ill. It sounded like the 70s in today.
Yeah.
And what I meant by that, it sounded like it didn't sound like they sampled too much. It sounded like they composed a lot of the shit that was on there originally, but it sounded like long ago. But I really like this album. It sounded like a whole movie. I really like this album a lot. I kept listening to it. I
It's
listened
a great
to it about,
project.
It's hard to listen to albums more than once nowadays, but I've listened to his joint like almost every day.
He's the kind of artist that I, like, personally, I listen to at home. When I'm doing, like, chores at home during the day, like, that's the vibe, the mood I'm in.
Me and my daughter listen to it. My youngest daughter, we listen to it together.
So that's the mood y'all be in when y'all at home. Y'all ain't bumping that dummy boy, huh?
Saying, like, I can't listen to
play
crazy.
stupid in the house
when I'm,
every
like,
now and then.
vacuuming, I'm not trying to listen to all this crazy
That's you got almost
shit.
work out when you vacuum and shit. Okay, I can feel you.
This guy.
You be in a little zen mood though.
I need
You
to
be
be in a
high.
zen.
You gotta listen. You listen to some Paak,
I light some candles.
Currency, like really lit.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, all right. So Meek Mill's album Championships, is coming this week. We're like 2 days away.
Right.
So he did an interview with Vulture where he talked a lot about, his beef with Drake and where he's at currently. So we know that they made up. Drake brought him out on stage. He confirms that him and Drake have been communicating for the last year, even before he went to prison. He said it was just the right timing. They didn't have any big issues besides rap beef. We didn't cause any harm to each other. So that's really dope. He also talks about, so they asked him about Cardi being featured on the album and her admitting that she uses writers all the time, going back to this ghostwriting thing. And he said it would never hold him back from working with someone. He's like, even Kanye admits to using writers and working with people. There are just certain titles you can't claim. Like Diddy, of course, has writers, so he can't say he's an all-time lyricist. It was a pretty interesting interview. What did you guys think?
I think that's very interesting for me. I mean, I didn't doubt that, like, that whole thing with Drake, I'm pretty sure, of course, it didn't happen like overnight. They didn't just say, yo, I'm doing a show in Boston, come through, because Boston would be the oddest place for them to debut it anyway. So they definitely been building it. But as far as like Meek's overall like thoughts on the whole writing thing, people always are critical of what he said about Drake, but I think it's just that situation. Like it was a big thing with that situation because I'm pretty sure you got to jump through a lot of hoops to clear a Drake verse. Like that's not an easy thing to do. And when the whole shit came about the writers and him hearing it, and it was a lot of mixed emotions. It just was a feeling thing.
He said he jumped out of anger. He was high. He was like at a low point in his life, which is understandable. Everyone goes through times like that. So, but it's nice that it could come full circle now. And
yeah, I think Meek has probably just learned. He seems evolving, like, and I do believe that was his opinion back then. Like, wait, some of these niggas really got writers. To now realizing that, man, hip hop doesn't change, man, and you fought the battle thinking you were on the right side of what you thought the culture stood for and how the culture would decide, and people kind of showed you like we don't really care. So he could have his personal opinion and say, you know what, you're not gonna be an all-time great if you enlist writers or you have help on that level, but don't mean we can't work together, right? And that's obvious by him working with Cardi B and also just kind of realizing what the rap game is. So I thought that was growth.
I mean, the whole thing, and even with the whole thing with Cardi is like, again, like Cardi's not out here proclaiming to be the best lyricist or nothing like that. And what's ill about what she does is that she admits it. Because a lot of people are critical, like, oh, Wayno, you stand for hip hop. How could you ever? I'm like, you know how many like women, and I'm not trying to shit on women, but like a lot of them had writers. And we found a lot about this later on. She came out and said it. All right, I have writers, so it's like you can't use that against her.
She's not trying to be the greatest lyricist.
She's not trying to be the greatest lyricist all the time. So it's like I don't think that's even an issue with Meek working with her.
Yeah.
You know?
I do believe at a point or another, she's gonna. This is a reoccurring thing with her though. Like I see her talking about it, and there's something that bothers her about that. It's not like she's like, all right, just dismiss me from all conversation. You know, like even if you use a writer, and when she does speak about her writer, she says, I have songs that are co-written. She never says she don't write, period. She just says, yeah, someone helps me, and we work on it together. So, you know, especially now with her status in the game, like she's up there among female rappers, and when you're kind of edging for that top spot, even if it's a mainstream top spot, that is something that people are gonna kind of get at you
but
at.
Are they? Is the thing. Remember, maybe now, or maybe 5-10 years ago, but 5 or 10 years from now, do you think fans are gonna care?
Well, I think the biggest problem that Cardi has is that people try to knock her achievements, not the fact that she writes. I think that because she's achieved so much.
They try to tie it to both.
They try to tie it to both.
Well, you got that, but you ain't really write the song.
Right. So I think they try. And the thing is like I always say, whether she wrote the song or not, I don't think she believed. I wouldn't say that she didn't believe. But she's achieved way past what her expectations were.
Yeah.
And I think that's what a lot of people try to tear down is what she's become. And it's like, oh, it's only because of that. And not not the hard work that she put in. It's only, oh, somebody helped you with a verse.
At some point, do we start to look at someone like Cardi, like a Rihanna, for example? We know Rihanna's ultra talented, but obviously people write her songs and stuff like that for her.
Well, it's a different conversation because we speaking about singers versus rappers.
But I feel like at some point we have to like, those boundaries get a little more blurry as we have more pop rappers.
And I hate to say it, but truth be told, I think Cardi really only catches any flack for that, and we tie her achievements to this whole ghostwriting or co-writing thing, just because of who she's compared to.
Yeah.
Like she's compared to someone who, again, is one of the best female rappers of all time. And when that is a comparison, that your skills are gonna come into question.
Right.
Because you have accomplishments, she has accomplishments.
Right.
What separates you out?
Well,
and it seems that is the thing.
And the lines get blurred because like a lot of their shit is like, you know, people put them against each other, but they've had their own little spats. They've had their own little personal spats, and the lines get blurred there because Cardi's problems with Nicki has never been like music.
Question, do you guys think people, like real humans out in the world, or just the internet pits them again? I don't know personally anyone in real life who even thinks about them in the same box. It's only on the internet that I see this.
Well, I mean, the internet is within everything. Everybody uses the internet for social media. But I mean, media too. The thing is this, right? When you have two people that are good at, when you have two people who have like a lane, and these lanes might not, Cardi has her lane and Nicki has her lane, but those lanes kind of run parallel to each other, they're gonna compare them. Like, you can't avoid that. I think that's just like fucking nature.
I'm just saying, I feel like it's something easy for people to write on the internet. In real life, when I have conversations with people, I don't know anyone that's putting them.
They compare them because they're the top.
Yeah,
the top
no,
women
you're
in the
right,
game,
but I really think it's a lot more online than anything. But
yeah. And I think that their problems. I mean, Nicki, we know what Nicki's problems were. And Nicki's problems is, don't compare me to somebody who got help. And her whole thing is like personal shit. Like Cardi's shit is personal shit.
Yeah.
So I think the lines get blurred there, but nobody could take away either one of their achievements, no matter what they have to say about what's going on at the moment.
It's true.
I just want to see, well, it's interesting that he's mentioning the track with Cardi. Not saying Cardi's a huge artist, of course, and I'm pretty sure he has other huge features, but he was with Nicki. And I think people are watching if he addresses that, how that played out.
I think he does, right?
He does. He definitely did. But I mean, and with me, I had a conversation with Meek about it. It's like, it's not no diss song. It's not a spiteful song. You got to remember, they signed to the same label.
Right.
I mean, he rolls with the homie Brooklyn Johnny, who works with Cardi. So it's something that could easily happen. It's not like he's doing that to spite Nicki or nothing. He wanted to do a record with her, and the record is fire. So it's like it has nothing to do with her, with Nicki essentially.
But of course, everyone's gonna say when the full record's out that also Cardi's maybe talking about Nicki on here. We know how this is gonna go, but
I heard it. It's just a dope verse. You're not talking about Nicki at all.
The internet's gonna make it that though. But anyway.
No, all these bitches my son's reference?
Nah, none of that. None of that shit. None of that. But it's a dope record.
So one more quick thing from his interview with Vulture. He also gave the definitive answer on rap beefs. Remember the whole question about are there boundaries or not? So just him confirming there are no lines in rap beef, never been. Even when I was going through it with Drake, he was holding it down to a high level. You speak on girlfriends, moms, dads, anything. As long as there's no violence, it's all good. It's only words.
Yeah, so if violence don't get involved, it's cool. Like, that's all it is. People have words all the time. As long as you don't put your hands on somebody, especially in rap beefs, because if you compare like rap beef and how they make songs to battle rap is the most disrespectful. The whole thing with battle rap is to disrespect you and dismantle you so you lose. So a lot of people keep those elements. You gotta remember, Meek was a battle rapper. So he's gonna say that, because that's the whole thing. It's like to say the most disrespectful thing to just get you uncomfortable. Yeah. But as long as nobody's talking about, oh, I'm gonna do this to you or you gonna do this to me, that's a whole nother level.
Yeah, I mean, there's theoretically no boundaries until it gets physical, right? Because again, certain shit would make you get physical. If you're threatening somebody.
Yeah, if you threaten somebody.
With Drake and Meek, I think it was, a blessing from God that they probably didn't run into each other wrong place, wrong time. Something may have happened. It wasn't like they were gonna dap each other like, yeah, we're just gonna keep it on. No, there were real issues at a point. But, that's during the moment.
Yeah.
You see, and that's why you hope nothing happens there, because afterwards, when the dust is settled, you could actually be like, you know what, we've been through that, you're over it. You don't live that moment forever. That's what when we're even talking about the Drake and Pusha thing. It makes it hard for reconciliation. Now something happened. So now you look at shit differently and it might go elsewhere. But I mean, in terms of what you say, I still think you should stay away from certain things. If somebody has
and girlfriends.
Well, if you think, I mean,
I don't think you should stay away from things. I think it's just how you say it. The whole thing is
if
how
somebody
you
got
say it.
if somebody got deceased loved ones, you got to stay away from that, because that's some shit that.
So don't go the Troy Ave route.
Yeah, that shit kind of carries, yo. So it's you understand joking on somebody in middle school or whatever, and the shit you could clown somebody for,
Absolutely.
and then 2 days later y'all are still cool. You get me? And of course I get it's a rap beef, so you want to be a little bit more hurtful, but you don't want to really say shit that.
I mean, the thing is that you can't ever insinuate that you're gonna do something you can say shit. You can definitely say shit, but it's all about how you say it and in the context you say it. Again, with rap beefs, Meek and Drake shit, the bars that they spit at each other wasn't even as close as Jadakiss and Beanie Sigel. It wasn't even nowhere in the same stratosphere. So it's all about how you deliver it. If you saying, yeah, I'm a fucking, I'll cut you, gun butt you, some crazy shit like that, then it's oh, I need to watch out next time we in the same venue. Or if you just inviting them to certain type of things, you just got to be careful on how you deliver it.
Yeah,
that's it.
You guys are right. That and for sure people who are deceased, right? Because I remember even Roy saying at the time that he thought Troy Ave took that shit way too far.
Yeah, I wouldn't go I wouldn't go that route. Unless so when you say something to that degree, then you're telling somebody it's whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you do something to that degree, then you're just yo, it's whatever with you. But if you joking about anything in anybody's family, that's all on how you take it to heart. You know what I mean or not?
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, so I want to try to get to one fan question before we go, but real quick, I'm going to say congrats to YBN Almighty Jay. He has a baby now.
Yes.
That was kind of a surprise. Do you want to play this cute little clip?
Right.
Say, all the babies on here, y'all slide in my DM. I'm trying to get some hoes. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, say it again. Say it again.
He's wild. I mean, by that you can tell he's a young father, but I have,
Is he a father?
So Act doesn't believe that he's a father.
Yo,
you don't believe that he's a father?
he trolls so much. This doesn't tell me he has a kid.
Is there
But that wasn't the whole clip. He did say something. He was yo, he put something up. Was yo, I'm tired of, hiding you or, what I mean, keeping you a secret. I want people to know I have a son. So you think he's trolling?
Don't make a joke right now.
No, I've seen him post a lot of that similar things just about other shit.
So wait.
You wanted to be a father.
Wait, trolling with babies? Is this not too much?
What? That's
Well, listen. I want to be respectful here. And I don't think he's trolling.
Okay.
So I want to say congratulations to the young man. Now, if that comes out later on, that's something totally different. But I want to say congratulations to the young man if he is a dad.
His son is named Sir Lucius Scott.
Part of
Regal
me
name.
says, yo, it's YBN Almighty Jay. I've never seen him serious. The most serious was when we had
At
him at
Complex Con,
Con.
the only
I was like, yo,
serious
this guy is
When they
a
wasn't jacking
complete jokester. So even here, I'd be like, is he serious or not? But regardless, let's say he is. Congrats.
He had to,
And also, I hear this plays into a part of maybe why him and Black China split. So at least he has a new blessing in his life. Okay, does that sound good? Does that sound good?
Salute to YBN Almighty Jay, man.
Oh, man.
And by the way, since he's now, I think he's 19 or something like that, he should be now living more responsible because he was a little bit reckless. He was in LA, wilding a little bit. Hopefully that would change his lifestyle because now he has somebody to live for. Was that good?
Can you imagine? I can't wait till you're a dad.
I don't want
That's
kids.
going to be great.
No way. If I could have the kid without a baby mama, I'll do that. I don't want no baby. I've been learning from Future.
You could adopt. There are a lot of kids that need adopting in the world.
Could a baby mama come and sue me for child support?
All right, so on to our fan question. Who's this one from today? Greatest Beats. What would you guys say to someone who thinks it does not make sense that you guys complain that artists are oversaturating hip-hop with too many releases, but when someone does not drop for a few months, you guys put them on the clock? All right, so you're trying to call us out. That's fair enough. Let's think of some people we've put on the clock. Young M.A., Designer. One of you put T Grizzly, I think Smoke Perp, but 21 Savage. So let's... Young M.A. Designer. They had 2 mega super hit singles, right? Yeah. And then we felt like they didn't follow up quickly with a body of work or other songs that kept the momentum going. 21 Savage, on the other hand, dropped his album. He worked the album for a long time, didn't put out 50,000 releases in the bit. We don't feel like he's on the clock. So those are our recent examples. Maybe you guys want to explain further.
I mean, you just explained it. Like,
sorry.
yo, this is what people don't realize. It's not only music. Being an artist is not only music. There's a whole 360 a slew of things that you could do other than just constantly dropping music. Working the records, I mean, touring. Like, for me, I just look at basic visibility and what are you doing? Like, for example, Rihanna don't drop all the time. Rihanna will never be on the clock. We don't be like, it's Rihanna's run over.
Beauty line, though, and hit the Forbes list
That's
again.
what I'm saying. Like, when we see you doing things in just even different avenues, but you're still working that brand, it tells us that you're maintaining that it's the same ecosystem. Like the same ecosystem that supports your music. When we just see you drop a song and we see you kind of just, you're fading out of even like existence, like you're not being seen anywhere. We're not seeing you capitalize off the buzz from the song for these other, and maybe sometimes you are, but it's that perception. Like putting somebody on the clock is perception. A lot of things buzz, that's perception. So that's what happens when I'm looking at an artist and I'm like, all right, where's the follow-up to this? Whether it was, shoot, yo, Young M.A., you drop that record, we're looking for not only the next single, but maybe a couple of partnerships that we thought could have, like, yo.
Just your visibility.
Yeah, the Hennessy joint, could that be something? And again, sometimes not her fault or her team's fault, but we want to see that next step, that progression. And it doesn't always have to do with dropping songs.
I mean, the thing about it is that a lot of people, a lot of artists spend a lot of time getting their music together and then they drop it with no plan. It's like no plan of action. It's like, all right, I'm going to put this out, but I don't know what I'm going to do after that. And like, I'm not a big subscriber to putting people on the clock, only because the way I grew up consuming music was like album by album, year by year. And all the albums that I stuck with and I loved came year by year. It's like I could expect a Jay-Z album every year or a DMX album every year. And even shit, Nas, you know what I mean? Like you could expect them to do something every year. Now, I think that it's so frequent, that's why we criticize it, because they just throwing shit out. I don't think they're putting time and quality into their music. Like a 21 who's like, all right, I'm not gonna just be throwing shit out there. He had Issa, but then he also had the, Without Warning? That project.
And then he had a couple big features, like he did the Post Malone track.
Post Malone feature, that kept him visible. He chilled out, you know what I mean? He became a financial lyricist or whatever, right? He started doing different things that kept him visible. We was like, all right, we see that you're doing something, we'll wait. A lot of artists, they don't do shit.
Chance the Rapper's also a good example of that. It's not like he's dropping a project every year, right? There's a lot of time between his releases, but he's so active with other things. He's doing a musical, he's making a movie, he's running for mayor. Well, that's not real, but you know what I mean.
I mean, he's active. He's active on so many different levels. Like Chance, like even just seeing him get engaged, like, you know what I mean?
Start teaching Sunday school.
I mean, even seeing him getting engaged and all of that shit. It's like all of these different things where he keeps his visibility there, where it's like, yo, we can think year by year. The year that Chance gave us, not just the music. A lot of artists give us music and then don't do shit, but go on the road and don't create content while they're on the road. So it's like we don't really know what they're doing.
That's really interesting. So what is the track? Is it 1985 where J. Cole's like, make sure you stay on the road because touring is really how you make your money? But that's an interesting point. Do you feel like touring is what actually makes it hard for them to have a presence sort of here? Like if they're overseas for 6 months, do the American fans start to starve?
It is, like,
it depends.
I think the real savvy like artists who understand like people like again, sometimes it's out of sight, out of mind. When people go on the road, a lot of people shut down. Like you don't really see much of them unless
it's exhausting. That's understandable, right?
Of course. But some people balance that.
Yeah.
You get me?
I mean, it goes into your team because I feel like, all right, if you're if you're on the road and a person that can't experience, everybody can't pay for a $25 or $50 ticket. So the person that can't experience it live, you got to give them some sort of experience, right? So if you're not, Instagram is everything. If you're not building out that content, the pictures from the show, the pictures from the meet and greet, you might just do a free pop-up. Like, you got to do stuff that's going to keep you visible. You should be doing a video blog. You should be creating content that you're putting out that people could share. And then, like, all right, we haven't seen him do an Everyday Struggle interview or a Breakfast Club interview, but at least he's doing something or she's doing something where we could see them. Then we don't have to put you on no damn clocks. You know what I mean? But if you're just running around collecting bags all day and you like, what? I got bread.
Yeah, club appearances don't mean shit to the greater population,
that don't mean shit. So it's like, you got to just keep yourself
Russ
visible.
about that. He preaches that a lot.
No, I mean, but Russ shows that content though.
No, I'm like that. Picking up those little small bags from the club, it's cool, but it doesn't really help build out that larger brand. And also really, like, you do a tour when people start seeing you have built up by being on the road, and now you're doing these bigger venues. If you're just going club by club, like I'm here, just doing a walkthrough, it's good, you're getting the bags, but a lot of times that's not really, it's not gonna help your visibility to anyone that's not in that club.
Right, even down to your merch. Like, people can't get it on the tour, you should be doing special drops that's only online. You know what I mean? Like, just so that people could have some sort of experience. If you're not doing all of these different things, guess what? Your ass is on the clock, and then you are absolutely, I mean, not absolutely, you start to fade. You know, you start to fade.
And also, like, even going back to 21, right? You don't, a lot of times you can maintain your presence not only through your music, through other niggas' music, if you want to keep it just on music. Like, I always looked at Young M.A., even Fetty Wap, I'm like, yo, when y'all were fucking flaming hot, I didn't see the feature run that came along with that. I saw your own records, but I didn't see you guys getting plugged in with what the system is saying, maybe because Young M.A. wasn't signed. So that becomes another step, right? That's harder. But even Fetty Wap, I used to look at him like, yo, why Fetty Wap now everybody hooked?
Did he only have the Drake remix, right? Was that the only collab he did?
And that was like some unofficial shit that didn't even fully get cleared.
Yeah, it didn't get cleared.
So like, he wasn't, for when we thought he was cooling down, he should have been maintained by a bunch of features.
This conversation makes me think of someone of Bryson Tiller, right? Like, it makes me think of Bryson Tiller because at the time when he came out and he was like super hot, he wasn't doing no features, right? Like, he made a decision, and I can understand that because you want to keep like your brand kind of exclusive, but he didn't do any. It's like there's maybe one or two people who have a Bryson feature, it's Travis Scott and like one other person. So when now
DJ Khaled.
No, but that record, I ain't gonna front because remember a lot of people didn't receive his album well. So that
record kind of like reignited kind of like his little wave right there.
Exactly, but at the same time, it's like, do we now? And I'm pretty sure that he can still tour and all of that, but we haven't been seeing content. So
if you're a notoriously shy artist, like Bryson is notoriously shy. Like, he never wants to be on camera for interviews. He'll be the guy who tried to phone in to like a video show kind of thing. Then
I can't believe that nigga tried to call an Everyday Struggle, man. I was like, yo, what do you think this is, a radio show?
But I mean, it makes it, well, finish your question.
Just saying that it can be very challenging for a person like that. And so in that situation, if you can't push yourself to be more visible because it's physically uncomfortable.
Your team gotta find a way. Like, they gotta understand you as an artist, and they gotta find a way to make sure that despite you being shy, your brand is still out there.
At that point, you got to become a motherfucker on the level of a Prince or something.
Or like, Frank Ocean. Frank Ocean's one of the only artists of this generation that can do that thing. Just literally vanish for months at a time, sprinkle a couple tracks, maybe an album, disappear again. But he's very rare.
He's very rare, and I think he built a lot with his fan base.
He built
on.
It's like a cult fan base. Like, I'm a cult Frank Ocean fan.
Which I think Bryson has that too, but I think that with his second project, he changed his style a lot. So that's what kind of threw a lot of people off. He did more rapping than he did singing.
But remember Frank Ocean, so to your point about features and stuff like that, he popped up on like Watch the Throne, for example. Like, he did some amazing like work that really cemented him, even if he wasn't putting out his own work. So you guys are right, maybe more features and stuff for Bryson.
It's a lot of different ways to do it.
Yeah.
Visibility.
All right, I hope that answered your question. Thanks for trying to call us out, but it didn't work.
Tell them, B.
Right, all right, so keep sending your questions, please. Hit us in the DMs at Everyday Struggle on Twitter with 2 Gs. Hit us on our Everyday Struggle Show page on Instagram and send us videos. Like, what's good with you guys? Enough with the tweets already.
They don't want to be seen.
That's what I'm saying. Come on, yo.
They don't want to be. They don't want their visibility up.
Yeah, right. They don't want their visibility up.
Right.
All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. on Everyday Struggle.
That baby do look like YBN Almighty Jay.